Hello, my name is Dr. Ron England, and I'm going to tell you today about some best practices in online delivery of classes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the basic elements of online teaching and the things that you actually need to have here. So when you're dealing with online teaching, one of the things that you really want to have is a learning management system, and there's lots of learning management systems. What a learning management system does is it brings together all the elements you need to be an effective online teacher. So the things like bulletin boards and chatting and drop boxes and assessment and materials organization for your course, that's all bundled together into a learning management system. And there's lots of them out there: WebCT, Blackboard, D2L, Moodle. They all have essentially the same function, slightly different in ways that they do that, little features, but that is part of it. Now, when you're teaching online, online teaching requires a much higher level of attention to detail of working with your course materials than it does when you actually work in a classroom. In a classroom, you can put your stuff together, you go into the your lecture hall or your classroom, you have that ability to interact with students and see what they are not getting and what they are getting, and adjust what you teach on the fly. Doesn't apply to online teaching. You need to be organized. And you really need to be organized first in your materials and how your materials are put together. So some of the basic elements of good online teaching, one of my things I think is the most important element of online teaching is video. Video brings a lot of stuff that you have to life. That goes well beyond your basic text-based static materials. An online course where you simply read materials and discuss them really does not have the effective elements of a good online course. Also, your organization of assessments and assignments is critical in online course material because you really have to think about how your assessment methodology goes with the materials that you have to present the materials that you have. And the final element that you have is interaction. The challenge of interaction in online courses is one of the major things because in online teaching, your interaction is through a technical media, not face-to-face, not the normal way that you would interact with humans. So that interaction, that ability to organize a bulletin board, to run a chat session, to be able to do a Skype or a video conference with somebody, those are all things that you need to know to be a good online teacher. So, organization first. So all the people that are dealing with teaching online courses is you have to have a good determination of course outcomes. If you're an accredited institution, you have course outcomes for every course. If you're within the state of Florida, you have course outcomes for every course because the course numbers are commonly numbered based upon outcomes. And it's those outcomes that determine how you're going to do the delivery of the course. Now, if you've got something that you need to teach in a course and it's not in the outcomes, you don't need to teach it in the course, or you need to get it in the outcomes, one of the two, because the outcomes determine what people get out of the course. Once you know what those outcomes are, you can now look at topics. What do you need to teach to make those outcomes reality to those students? And I usually start with saying, okay, what is everything I need to cover to meet these outcomes? What are these topics? Now, a lot of times teachers will say, you know what? The topics are in the book, so I'm just going to use the book to figure out the outcomes. Now, that's a cop-out. If you're an expert for doing this and you know what you're teaching, you can do this without dropping back to a book. And good professors that use books and good professors that don't use books will still, a professor will go in and they'll organize the way that they even present the materials in the book. They take the materials and make it work that way. Once you've got those topics down, you know what they are, you need to linearize them. You need to actually linearize them. What that means is just put them into a timeline. Students are going to go through the course in a linear fashion. They're going to go from A to B to C. Now, a timeline is a little stronger word than what you might need for that linearization because maybe the course follows a semester or maybe the course is self-paced. But the concept of linearizing them is still there. Okay? The end product, you've got a solid outline of how this course is material is going to be presented in the course itself. So, I'm going to take you through some of the elements which are very good to have here, such as video. And here's some good things that you need to look at when you're dealing with video. First, lay out the materials you have for every individual topical presentation and make it so that it does not exceed 20 minutes. This is critical. Okay, if you're going to think that you're going to sit down and take what you did in a classroom, chatting away for an hour and 50 minutes and make an effective video, you are wrong. It does not work that way. Take those topics, break them up, give them titles. Now, a good video is 10 to 15 minutes long. You shoot the video, and when shooting a video, I see people that will be they're alive in the classroom, they're great teachers, and they put them behind a camera, and they immediately move into a monotone presentation of reading slides off of a PowerPoint. Shoot the video and be yourself. Be the person that you are in the classroom. It's okay to do that. Once you've got that video shot, you're going to go into the post-production phase. The post-production phase is where you actually are looking at things that you might see on this video, where I'm zooming and panning, and I'm throwing in call-outs, and I'm embedding things. The post-production can be as critical as the shooting of the video itself. Then that video has got to be aligned. It's now a topic. It's now what you have to support your materials. And you need to align it with all the other materials that you have, which is the assessments, the assignments, all the other pieces. So, what's next? Well, let's look a little bit at pedagogy. When you write course outcomes, a lot of the outcomes will be things such as student will demonstrate knowledge of, a student will demonstrate the ability to. Those are different things fundamentally. Knowledge of means you can repeat and recite specific facts. And when you do that, you focus on materials and you make assignments and assessments that concentrate on that ability to bring that material back. Ability to is a different thing. Computer programming is often ability to. We don't care if the student knows the definition of every little nitpicky thing. Can they write well done code? Can they build the thing that they need to build? Okay, in this case, the assignments are critical and the materials support the assignment. So, it's different approaches, different pedagogies for different outcomes. Now, I'm going to take you through some little nice things like an assignment template. Suppose you're putting together an assignment. What do you want to have in an assignment template? Well, this is a nice little thing here, objectives, the statement of the assignment, information that you might have that's not part of the statement, but information about the assignment, where it came from. That's what we typically in database world call metadata. How long is it going to take the students to do that? And that's actually very important to students to have an idea, because if you're dealing with online learners, they're budgeting their time. Supporting lectures, that'd be links to whatever supports it, frequently asked questions, external resources, and how are you planning on grading the assignment? Okay, I'm going to take you through some examples of this. This is designed to go with a live presentation of me, and I'm going to take you through the examples after this video of how I actually put all these things together. Okay, but for this video, I'm going to take you on to the next thing, which is a lecture template. So what do you need to do when you actually put together a lecture? I don't just throw lectures out on the internet willy-nilly. They have materials that go with them. They have prerequisite lectures. Every lecture that I put up on the internet has a summary statement. What is this lecture about? That becomes very important to myself, because I oftentimes are looking for, I did that lecture on such and such, where is it? Well, I'm not going to want to go through and look at all my videos to try to find it. I can read those summary statements and find it very quick. Okay, I usually create a page for my videos, and I either link or embed the video in the page itself. Then all the materials that I might present in that, like for example, if you're looking at this video, well, there's a PowerPoint that goes with it. You may want that PowerPoint. That's reference materials. I should make that available to you with the lecture itself. And then any other additional information, such as what are the sources of the materials that I used in this lecture? Okay, I used it. It'd also be pretty nice for the people watching this lecture to have access to it too. So those are all important things that you have when you're doing this. Okay, so I'm going to also, if you're watching one of my live presentations, I would be taking you through now and showing you a real example of this. However, if you're looking at this online, you know what? You can download the PowerPoint presentation to go with it. Look at the link that's right here and look at some of that example of how I put together that video template. This is the conclusion of part 1 of best practices. I usually stick to my guns when I say that you should do it in small segments. This is a 10-minute segment. I hope that you got a lot out of this. There is so much more that you need to learn if you're going to be an effective online teacher. But if you watch through the entire video sequence that I'm going to create for online teaching, you will be an effective online teacher and you will have excellent student outcomes. Thank you very much, and that is it.